Hey, real quick, just a quick warning, man. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some stuff like body counts. Don't know what that means? Or you're going to check this video out. Warning, it will get a little dicey. So do me a favor, my friend. Check this video out. Hey, and welcome to Keith's Motivational Minute, where I myself, Keith Collins, get to hang out with you, the guy that's on the other side of this video, man. And today in this video, man, we're going to talk about body count. And you're probably like, what does that mean? Well, we're in chapter 7 of my book, Fatherless. Right here, right here, my book. We're in chapter 7 of my book, Fatherless, and it says this. In chapter 7, it says, I wish I knew that the number of girls I could sleep with did not matter. And this section talks about just relationship. It talks about me as a young boy growing up, how, you know, in the neighborhood, I would hear guys talk about, yeah, man, I had sex with this girl or I had sex with that girl. Not really understanding that some of those guys probably didn't even really have sex with the girls. And so it built up this inside of me at a young age, how I just couldn't wait to have sex. And it wasn't me understanding, or I heard from my parents, you know, that I should wait. But there was an intense desire that they call it a FOMO, fear of missing out. And I felt like that I was missing out on something, or my parents was hiding something from me. So I went on the discovery of just looking for material that talked about sex, that material that showed me what it was, and that led me to an early age diving into pornography, which I'm not proud of, but it is a part of my journey, and God had delivered me through that. And I didn't really know the effects that it was playing on me. I remember in middle school just wanting to be a part and figure out the next opportunity to watch some of that material, and there's still a sense of emptiness inside of me, and I still had to deal with hearing other people talk about it. And in high school, that's when I really changed my mindset, and I really said in high school, this is where, you know, that, you know, lust took over. And I was like, man, I'm looking at girls and only thinking what it is that I can get from them. I put them as an object. I put them as a pedestal to do whatever it was that I wanted to do with them. And that led me into having relations with girls, and I guess you'd say stepping into that realm of having sex. And it was one of those things, yeah, it felt cool or whatever, but it wasn't, there's still that emptiness. There's still that sense of there has to be more. This is, although it's gratifying at the time, you know, I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking, you know, what does this look like? What effects it has on this girl? And it wasn't until college, I guess you'd say I had more relations, and going into that time frame, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and, you know, and sex was involved. And, you know, we had seasons where we took a step into that direction, and we had seasons where we stepped back. And I still brought the baggage of my pornography addiction, my lustful spirit, I guess you would say, where I would look at a girl anytime I walked by. I started to think about what it was that I could do and how I could please them and things like that. But, you know, in this chapter, I posed this quote, and this quote says this, because I think as young men, we're taught that you need to sleep with girls to be a man. You need to have a massive body count. You need to do all of these things in terms of with the opposite sex to prove your manhood, because if not, you know, your manhood could be in question, or you might not like girls, or things like that. So those things get in question when you don't show that you have multiple girls, when you don't show that you can have multiple kids and things like that. Or maybe you haven't even been taught how to be the right man. And so in this chapter, man, in chapter 7, I take a look in my life and I take a look at some of the dangers. One of the dangers of pornography, how, as I step into marriage, I currently now am battling still some of the same lustful desires and tendencies that I built up over the course of 10 plus years. And you still take that into a marriage, and you continuously pose this struggle to be faithful and to only consider and think about your wife as the one that you are to desire and to have. And I don't say that to say that, I don't love my wife or anything of that nature, but I'm just saying that as a young man, as you and I do this thing called life, and as we grow and as we place into our minds these certain images or certain viewpoints of the opposite sex, it does have an effect on our today and our tomorrow in terms of our relationships. For me, I must guard my heart very closely, and I must really think about what I think about, and I must think about when I'm in the room or when I'm in a surrounding where there are other opposite sex. Because my tendency has been lean to talk to girls and things like that, I guard myself, and so I don't even step into the realm to where I have that one-on-one dialogue or conversation with the opposite sex like that. And I say that not to be a prune or anything like that, but I'm saying from a man to man, because this is a conversation, this is a talk that we normally don't have. And this is so important, because everything that I hope and everything that I stands upon the notion of me being able to be one of the best fathers that has ever lived in the world, and also in my kids' life. And so I must set the example, and I'm putting out on the forefront some topics and some things that we normally don't talk about. In fact, in this chapter, I have this quote, and this quote in this chapter just says this: being a real man doesn't mean you sleep with 10 different women. It means you stay with one even when 10 others are chasing you. And the author is unknown, but I think that's so important, because we live in a generation now that tells us, man, sleep with who you want. Don't make any major commitments. Don't get married. Don't set a true foundation, man. The Bible, it's just a book of suggestions. It's not a guideline. Well, here's what I do know, my friend. With anything that you get, anything that has some type of function, it comes with an owner's manual. And that owner's manual is designed to help you to get the most out of whatever the product is. Now, I believe that the Bible also is a owner's manual for both you and I, and it teaches how we as men best function. Now, you might be someone that's like, I'm really not into the Bible. I get that and understand, but I must tell you that if you're hurting, the Bible speaks to that. Man, if you're struggling with lust or addiction, the Bible talks about that. If you're clueless on your self-worth, the Bible talks about that. And so this Bible is a manual and an owner's guide. And I had to use this manual and owner's guide to deal with my lustful tendencies, to deal with the effects of my marriage and things like that. And also, I had to deal with that, and I had to bring it out. And so, man, if you're a young man that you're struggling with, man, the women that you slept with, you're struggling with your past, man, maybe you're trying to find the right and narrow, man, pick up this book, because it's a guide, man, and there's helpful hints, and there's also how to course correct and change actions, because like myself, you probably at a point now where you're trying to grow, you're trying to do better. So, man, this book is the book for you. And then you might be a young man who's going through life who probably haven't experienced some of the things I'm saying. Take my warning. Take my warning. Take my warning. Hey, bro. Save yourself. Take your time. Wait. Set your standards. All of these things I'm telling you, man, as a friend. I'm not like, that's not my goal. My goal is only to help you, man, because I know the pain, I know the heart, and I know the destructive patterns that it could have on the other side. And I don't want that for you, man. I want the absolute best for you. So I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today, man. Do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and man, hopefully, I know we will cross paths, and I will see you on the next video.